What's up, staunch gang? Welcome to I guess this would be like my first real official like Patreon upload. Now I was gonna, set up and do this live and with video and all that, but I mean there is no video to watch. This is just audio that we're kind of reacting to here. So I'll just kind of pop up a little image here. I'm not sure what it is at this moment, but I appreciate you guys subscribing to the Patreon. Things will be more in depth, a little better quality than just me ranting over, an image. But I do plan on just kind of talking a lot more on this platform. Although, there will be some exclusive actual videos, and anything I do that winds up on the channel later will be in its full uncut form here. And there's a lot of things we can get away with here that I won't be able to on the actual channel. So if there's anything you want me to react to specifically, or any music videos, anything like that, this is the place to do it here on Patreon. So if you subscribed, I want to give you what you want. So let me know down there below any ideas you have for the Patreon and whatnot. But as part of my Corey Feldman versus Howard Stern series, well, I definitely wanted to touch on this one. But I wanted to do this one for a while, and I just wanted something as a companion piece to put on the actual channel. And luckily for me, I tracked down the footage of Corey Feldman appearing on Howard Stern in 1997, where they lampooned him by having his dad show up. Now you can watch that right now on the main channel, but this is just a little goodie for you guys. So this is an interesting one we have tonight. We have Latoya Jackson on Howard Stern versus Corey Feldman, and there's a lot of shade thrown here and whatnot. And I'm starting this about 12, 13 minutes into the first segment. It's uploaded in 3 parts on YouTube. So basically what we skipped is just Latoya was basically against Michael. She was saying that, yeah, there may be something to all these allegations. She didn't understand why Michael was basically paying some of these people off. And she was basically saying, like, would you leave your kid with Michael Jackson and all this kind of stuff? And that's her brother, it's strange. And if you watch the other video that I was mentioning about where Corey Feldman's dad shows up, Latoya Jackson's husband, manager, whatever, that creepy guy, he shows up there. And so you'll hear some mention here about that. And in that way, those 2 videos are kind of tied together. So here, let's get right to it. We're just going to kind of jump in before Corey. I believe this is a pre-recorded call the first time. And if I'm not mistaken, he actually calls in later. I've only listened to this like one time before. But hey, we're here on the Patreon, guys. Thank you so much for joining. If you haven't gotten, if you're on the Patreon and you haven't gotten your Staunch TV, Staunch Gang exclusive pin, be sure to hit me up on Instagram or message me here on Patreon. However, just message me. Let me know your address, and I will confirm it with you, and then we'll get going from there, man. I'm happy to have all you on board. Let's get to it.
You should let these people know that if it wasn't Michael and it was any other person on the street doing this, the first thing they would say is this guy should be under the jail cell. I'm not saying that he should be
under the jail
cell. You want to know something? If it was anybody else, they would be applauding you.
You tell Wilson Phillips, they don't.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Like, this is, you got to keep in mind, this is her brother here.
Yeah. He never had little girls over.
Well, let me tell you something.
Always little boys.
Jesus.
You're absolutely right. If this was any other case and it wasn't Michael Jackson, you would see that they would say, wow, the sister was really great. She came forward and she talked about it.
You would be a hero.
You would be a hero. But
Queen Latifah's, they didn't sleep there. They didn't know. They weren't at my house. They don't know Michael.
Oh, she's a hard-on. Don't worry about Queen Latifah. But it's really funny.
He just called Queen Latifah a hard-on. Nice. I need to look up what Queen Latifah was saying. But yeah, I don't see a world where Latoya Jackson's a hero.
Corey Feldman called us because he slept with Michael. He slept
Corey
with...
Feldman has been over to the house.
Yes.
Whether they subject or not, I know he was slept in the room.
Yeah, he slept in the room. And Corey said, when Latoya's on, let me call in. I'm going to tell her she's a liar. Now, why is he reacting that way?
No, he slept in the room, like I just told you. I don't know if they slept together,
right.
But I know that they probably did not sleep together because when Corey
Maybe
Feldman
he
was
does
up
call
at
in
the house,
right away.
Michael didn't like Corey Feldman. He says, I wish he would get out of here. He's too old. I don't want to be bothered with him.
Really?
See, that's quite the accusation. I mean, who's going to say she's wrong, I guess? I know she uses the defense, that's my brother. But for her to say that that Michael didn't like Corey, and you hear all the stories about them and stuff, I do side with Corey on that. I think things maybe went a little south towards the end there, but this was also before all of that. Strange time, like all these times tables here, and the way that this is put together. It's hard to tell exactly how and when things were going on, but we'll let it play out a bit, and if Corey doesn't explain it, I'll explain it a little more for you in a bit.
That's exactly what he said about Corey Feldman. He said he's too old and I don't want to be bothered with him.
He's rejected. He was
And
rejected.
I kept saying, he's going to hear you. And Corey would tell him, but my father's an alcoholic and he's no good. My father's a drug. Just going on and on.
Really?
And
He wanted Michael to adopt him.
Well, where's
yes,
Corey?
he did. And Michael says, I don't want to
Is
be
that him?
bothered with this.
Yeah, Corey. Oh, wait, Corey, you want to talk to Corey, Latoya? Yeah, hold on.
I was right there.
Hold on, wait.
On the phone.
Yeah, here he is. Hey, Corey.
Yeah.
Now, what Latoya is saying is that Michael didn't really like you.
Oh, boy. You know, I was listening to this whole conversation, I was starting to think, maybe this isn't a good idea. But now that I've heard Latoya lie about...
So why do you say she's
Why do
lying?
you say she's lying?
Why she
Well,
said...
she just lied about me, personally.
Well, how do you know that, Michael?
Okay, so Corey is calling in directly, and he was listening to the whole thing, man. That's nuts.
I lied about you. The only thing I said was you
Because
probably
I can
took
tell
it
you,
over
hold on. Because first of all, I can tell you that I never told Michael anything about my father, and the only reason she's saying that is because Latoya and Jack went to my father for management a couple
That's
years
not true.
ago.
Oh, wow.
And this
That's
is
not
stuff
true.
that my father obviously told her. So, because I
That's
never
not true
discussed
at all.
my dad with Michael ever. So
Latoya-
that was all completely made up.
So you're
not
saying
true
that
at
your
all.
father never even had a drinking problem or anything?
No, my dad was never a drinker.
Right. And
Was it your...
That's true. I don't remember in his book or anything. He never went off about how he was an alcoholic. He was just a fucking asshole, you know?
mother then? It was somebody in your family because Michael came back and told me. He told me the same night you were there at the house. And I was afraid you were going to hear him because you were a boy, a young boy.
Latoya,
And I was afraid.
the only time that you
And I
were
said,
ever there
Michael,
when
he's
I
gonna
was
hear you.
there,
I don't
you
even
were
want to
there
talk
you
to
were
her,
there
because
one
Corey
time.
Well, damn. Okay, they're really getting into it already. We're going to jump right back into part 2. But it's strange to think, I mean, because I always give the benefit of the doubt to Feldman based on, him being a child star and whatnot. And, fuzzy memories. I mean, I can't remember shit when I was a kid. How could anybody living this fantasy world, remember anything? At least, to the T specifically. So it's like, that being said, I mean, on the other hand, look at Latoya Jackson. I don't know. I've always kind of seen her as the least, like the bottom rung of Jacksons. Not to throw any shade, but I feel like, what the fuck is Latoya Jackson ever done besides try to be my psychic partner or whatever? So I think she has zero credibility here. I mean, yes, that's her brother, but listen to Michael Jackson's her brother, but then listen to the shit that she's saying about him. And Latoya, this is one of the biggest platforms of the day, is Howard Stern's show. Howard knows what he's doing, you know what I mean? So I feel in a lot of ways, if anything, this can only turn out good for Corey.
Latoya,
And I was afraid.
the only time that you
And
were
I
ever
said,
there
Michael,
when
he's
I
going
was
to hear you.
there,
I don't even want to talk
you
to
were
her,
there
because
one
Corey
time.
he knows the truth.
now, Corey, now let me ask you something, Corey. You're angry with Latoya, but she says she saw checks, and she saw lots of young boys coming in and out of the house. Why would you
And
call
what
her a
else
liar?
did I say?
Well, there were
And I
young
said,
boys coming in and out of the house. There were young girls coming in and out of the house.
You
That's
saw
young
girls.
everything. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, is it possible that something occurred and that the money was exchanged?
It's possible that money was
With
So
exchanged.
then why
no,
would you-
because he didn't
I mean,
like Corey.
I don't know
So
what
Yeah.
Corey,
Michael-
absolutely not.
You know that Michael has been giving money to charity and to people that he cares about forever.
Yes, he
And-
has been giving money to people to charity. That's very true.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that lines up.
But you
Is
know
it
what, Corey?
completely
He's not your
impossible
brother.
that
You
maybe
did not
he
live
just-
with him, and you don't know him. So who are you to make these statements?
Oh, I don't know him. Well, obviously, I
No,
don't
you
know
don't.
better
You
than
did not
do.
live with him, and you don't know him.
How- I mean-
Yes, you stayed the night over, and Michael didn't want you there. I'll say it right in your face.
Jesus.
He emphatically didn't want you over.
Oh,
And
okay.
he
That's
went,
why.
"Come on." He goes,
That's why I
"But you
still
can't
talked to Michael 6 months ago. When's the last time you talked
You
to
know
Michael?
what?
Latoya?
You don't know Michael, though. Of course
Oh.
he'll smile in your face, and he smiled every time you came downstairs, too.
What does that
Yeah, but
mean?
Corey,
That
And
he?
you turned your back.
So he
and you were
invited
sitting
me
on
over
his skirt.
because he didn't like me.
Yeah, what does that even mean? If Corey didn't, I mean, if Michael didn't like you or didn't want him over there, he wouldn't have been over there. I mean, shit. Michael's notorious for just cutting people off. Like, you hear so many people tell that story. In fact, that's what he eventually did to Corey himself. Whenever, Corey's words were kind of misconstrued in the press. I don't think that happened at this point. Corey, spoke out about the Michael Jackson thing, and they kind of took pieces out. I don't want to misquote him or nothing. You can look it up. But and then it kind of made it look like he was throwing some shade towards Michael. And in a lot of ways, I think maybe maybe Corey did kind of pick a side too quick there, because if I remember correctly, he did kind of come out and say like, that he has to kind of make some distance, keep some distance between them or whatever. But like as I said, it's kind of a notorious story that once you kind of turn on Michael, so to speak, he will cut you off real quick. And I think that's exactly what happened between him and Corey eventually. But as of now, I mean, look, he said talk to him 6 months ago. That's basically yesterday in Jackson time.
But Corey, let me ask you
Wait,
something.
no, wait. Hold
No,
on,
Corey,
hold
you
on.
pushed her way over, remember? Every single time, because he would say, here he comes again. Oh,
Anybody out there
God.
smoking with me? Let's do it.
No, Latoya,
And I know that hurts you to hear it, but that's the truth. And you know what I said? I told Larry, I told him, I said, listen, I said, I'm sure he didn't sleep with Corey because of the way he felt about him.
You're talking about Howard now, not Larry.
Hey, Corey, why did your relationship with Michael taper off, though?
Howard.
Yes. Yeah, Corey, why did your relationship taper off with Michael, though?
It didn't taper off. As a matter of fact, I have a letter from him from 4 months ago when I had eye surgery because I was in the hospital and he was leaving for tour. And he wrote me a letter, which I have right in front of me, and I could read to you.
What does it say?
Okay, I'll read you this letter.
You see, and I've actually heard Corey reference his eye surgery before. So I think if we're gonna put on our detective hats, we could definitely line up all these events. And her saying that Michael didn't sleep with Corey because he didn't like him. Come on, man, what a bitch. What I mean, this is every child star that had anything to gain from accusing Michael Jackson and Macaulay Culkin, I mean, none of them had anything negative to say. So, if you watch that, the HBO documentary that basically should have ended HBO, how badly that was done. Oh my God, that was just horrible. I'll go ahead and tag down below the YouTuber Razor Fist, the Rageaholic. Well, he did a great rebuttal covering the entire Michael Jackson accusations and stuff like that. And I can basically definitively say like that dude didn't do anything. The only thing that Michael Jackson is guilty of is being kind of a weirdo. I'm on Team MJ for sure. Be sure to check out that video if you have any doubts.
Letter from Michael, dated 6/22/93. Says, Dear Corey, I'm with you, Corey, and sending you happy get well thoughts and all my love, Michael Jackson.
Now, that's a form letter. I got the same letter.
I
That's a
wouldn't call
form
that a letter. I'd call that a note.
That's a note. But anyway, but Corey, isn't it, in a sense, you want to defend
Shut up,
Michael
Robin.
because, I'm just asking, I'm putting this thought in your head. You want to defend him because you did spend time in the bedroom, and you don't want anyone to think that anything went on, not that anything did go on.
I don't care.
Nothing went on. Nothing went on.
Believe me.
Something went on with him and Corey.
Hold on.
He didn't like Corey.
If something did go on with me, I would be more than happy to announce it because then I would be like everybody else and I'd jump on the bandwagon.
Of course he would have. I mean, yeah.
There is no bandwagon
Definitely.
to jump on.
Now, why would Latoya, let me ask you something, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. If anyone would have been wanting to jump on some sort of bandwagon back then and make some cash, probably would have been Corey and every other star that was there. And it wasn't. That didn't happen.
You seem to have some
Howard,
insight here.
you know what?
Why would Latoya...
If you're going to speak to me, put Corey off the phone.
All right.
Corey is not making any...
Can I ask one last question, Corey? Corey, why would Latoya lie? Why would Latoya lie?
Hold on, let me say something to Latoya.
She's fucking Latoya Jackson.
Why would Latoya lie about this?
Because
What do you
she's very sick.
Why is she sick, though? How would you know that?
She seems to be managing her life. What's sick about her?
She's managing her life. She's the only person in that whole family that's never had a career. The only career she's had is based
Tell
on
him, Corey.
But she has a career. She makes a lot of money.
That's not true at all, Corey. You know what? You have to stop and remember, I have 9 brothers and sisters, and you know what? You don't hear of any of them. They don't work. They can't get work. They can't do anything. Michael supports them, except for Janet. She's the only one, and myself. We support ourselves, and no one else. So you cannot say that.
Latoya, every time I ever saw you, okay, you and Michael were like best friends. You guys
That's
were
right.
so
Michael
close
and I were
together.
best friends, and that's why I know everything about him, and you don't.
No, so you guys were best friends, and now all of a sudden,
But you know what, Howard?
you decided that all these horrible things he did.
Yeah, all right, Corey.
No
I'm
shit.
Gonna stay with
I'm not going to do that.
All right, I'll stay with Latoya.
Hallmark
Corey,
of a
He
liar.
doesn't know what he's saying.
Corey,
I don't know what...
Corey, let me put you on hold.
That makes perfect sense.
Corey. All right, say goodbye to each other. Hold on. All right, a second. Latoya? Hello? All right, Corey's gone. Well, listen, that's
No,
what's...
Corey's absolutely right. Michael did not like Corey. He felt he was too big and he was a pest. That's why I told you in the beginning, I don't think
Too
Michael
big
ever
and a
slept with
pest.
Corey at all. Never. Because that's how he felt about him.
And admittedly, you might have been confused about anything about Corey's parents because Corey says that he never told Michael Jackson any of that, and nor is
But
it
you know
true.
what? He did say that one parent
Well,
was
Michael
an
might have-
alcoholic and one was a drug addict, and
Michael-
Corey knows this.
Well, Michael
That's
might
what
have
Mike told me.
Michael might have said that just to be outrageous. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah, you don't know if that is
Yeah.
Well, he did corroborate what Latoya has said all along, that she and Michael were best friends when she lived at home.
That's right.
And
Well,
he knows. He would see us whispering together, talking together, walking together. We did everything
but
together.
Latoya, let's just sum up by saying this. You never saw Michael
No.
Jackson have sex with any boys, but you are saying you saw checks that were paid to families, and you don't know if it was for sex or not.
Well,
but
I
you're
mean, I guess
assuming
that
it
kind of
was
lines up
because you
too.
thought-
He did pay off people hush
My
money,
mother
really. I
showed
mean,
me, and she says, I said,
guess
"Mother,
it's easier to
for
just
what?"
throw
She
money
goes,
at
well,
it.
What do you think this is for? I go, I don't know.
Right.
And she goes, don't be stupid, Latoya. And that's exactly.
Again, be sure to watch that Razor Fist video. He mentions all of this shit, and it's a great breakdown. It's a fucked up rap that Michael Jackson has from a lot of people still.
Exactly what she said, and she stormed out the room. She was very angry.
All right. I hear you.
She's totally aware of everything. She's the one that kind of planted the seed in my head to think,
Do you think that
going on?
do you think you'll be called up as some kind of witness in any of this?
Well, they've been trying to subpoena me for a while now.
Right. Will you? So you'll have to
I
come
just
and
can't believe
testify,
anything
right?
this bitch says. I mean,
I really don't care to speak about that. I wouldn't really want to testify.
Right.
I really wouldn't.
Well, let me ask you something. What do you think Michael is going to do? There was word today that he's probably going to return to the country.
let's see if Corey pops back up.
And look, to do this to me, to denounce me for about these kids that are being harmed and hurt.
I wrote your name down, Larry. Now everything's fine.
And then 2 seconds later, she called you Larry.
No problem. Who cares? Listening to her and Corey yell at each other was worth it.
Now that everything's cleared up.
Well, now that weren't you left to be the judge on this case?
Mm.
You don't know him like I do. I do know him like you
Oh,
do.
I don't know him.
Your father was an alcoholic. My father.
And
never
then
had
they
a
just
drink.
rag on him.
Your
This
mother
fucking
was an
Howard.
alcoholic. My mother never had
I
a
didn't
drink.
like you anyway.
Screw you, Michael hates you.
I'm telling the truth, Your Majesty. I mean, Your Honor.
I mean, Larry. I mean, Howard. I mean, Jack. Jay. Wild, wild stuff. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after these words. You're listening. Series.
You know why? Because nobody confronted her ever in person.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. I gotta sort of say something to you here.
Okay.
You're a
Okay, and it looks like Corey called back in. I'm guessing. I'm not sure if it's later or the next day or something. I guess we'll find out. But let's get to that right now. Looks it's about a 12-minute video or
You
so.
know why? Because nobody confronted her ever in person.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. I gotta sort of say something to you here.
Okay.
You're a funny guy.
Thank you.
She is the guy's sister,
Right.
You admit she was his best friend.
and all she is saying, she has come forward and said that all she saw was checks.
Okay. No, wait.
So-
now, if that was all she said,
That's what I thought she said.
okay. If conference yesterday, he has molested small children for years. I mean, that was her.
I guess
quote.
that was a tape
He's
issue
molested
there. I don't know
small
what that was.
children for years.
And how do you know that's not true?
She couldn't say it was true.
But
she
you-
couldn't
but-
sit there and say she saw it.
But you're calling up and saying that you, based on your one experience. Plus,
No, no, no.
Corey, you're not the best witness.
Okay.
Because I got to tell you
But
something.
how many people actually see molesters in the act?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And it is true that when Corey was young, he was Michael Jackson's friend and did
And-
sleep in the same bed. Did you sleep in the same bed?
No, I slept
Slept
in
in
his
the room.
bed that he did not sleep in.
Right.
Well, let me
So I don't see how they could be saying Corey's not the best witness while they're on, and you're talking about Latoya Jackson. I mean, clearly Howard is just there to get these people rattled or whatever. But I'm kind of trying to look a little deeper into it and trying to just kind of pick apart because I mean I've definitely seen damn near every Corey Feldman interview, and especially editing interviews and whatnot that he's done. For this latest documentary, Corey Feldman, artist, the man behind the love, available right now on Corey Feldman's box set, directed by Jake Perry and edited by yours truly. Well, while doing that, you can really get a read On not just doing the editing, but throughout the years watching everything and whatnot, you can really get a read and feel for Corey. Like you can tell when he's kind of putting on a show and when he's being truthful. And in my opinion, everything he's saying here is on the level. And I mean, God, I think people that don't even know who Latoya Jackson is or never heard her speak, you hear her talk for more than 5 seconds, man, and you can just you just feel like you need to take a shower. You got to wash the lies off you. You know what I mean? So that's the vibe I'm getting. That's the overall vibe I'm getting from Latoya Jackson here, man. I wonder what else. I wonder if she spoke about this later on or had anything else to say about Michael Jackson, because this is definitely what, early mid '90s here. This is pre '97. I think they mentioned he had a letter from Michael Jackson from '93, so I'm guessing if that was about 4 months earlier, he said he talked to him 6 months before. This is somewhere around '94. That would place Feldman. Well, that would put him in a pretty interesting spot in his career. Actually, 1994. That would be like the full on kind of direct to video route that he was going to that whole time, the Don Borcher stuff and whatnot. So interesting time here, interesting time. I think around this time too, Corey was really focused on getting doing tours and playing more music and whatnot, as his first album must have already came out around this time. Actually, or it was just recently released around this time. So just to kind of build a time period for you fellas, because to me that's the most interesting part of this whole thing, is just trying to pick apart, these eras, if you will, between everyone I cover on the channel, but in particular Corey. I like to have a broad kind of look at his career, and this is definitely an interesting part of it. Everything he did on Howard Stern. And again, on the main channel, you can check out all my Howard Stern versus Corey Feldman videos. I know the one that got a great response was Corey Feldman versus Rose McGowan. Whenever they had their little headbutt on Howard Stern, that was a good one. So all that's available on the main channel, but this one is just for you Patreon sons of bitches. Mwah. Again, hit me up any way you can on Instagram. I'll have my email down here. Hit me up here on Patreon. Send me your address. If you are subscribed, if you are a member of the Patreon, you are an official member of the Staunch Gang, and you will receive your Staunch Gang limited edition pin until supplies last. And if I run out, well, then you go on the list and you get them on the next batch. We're gonna keep it going, guys. Long live the Staunch Patreon.
But then again, Michael Jackson wasn't attracted to Corey.
That Latoya said that.
According to Latoya. Okay,
Wait a minute, Corey.
And Corey got upset because Michael doesn't like him.
But wait a minute,
right.
Corey, she did corroborate something that you also told us, that you were the aggressor in your relationship with Michael Jackson.
But no, that's
The
not true at
aggressor.
all.
You told
us that.
No,
That you
Michael
pursued
called
him.
me. Michael invited me to his house. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think
Corey.
I mean, let me tell you something about Michael Jackson, okay? Michael Jackson has got like 300 people that work for him,
Yeah.
including a full security team. And if Michael Jackson does not want somebody near him, he can very well avoid them from being near him.
Exactly. That's what I said earlier. It's like, it's fucking Michael Jackson. You think Corey just went and knocked on his door?
Not hard at all.
Well, hey, by the way, with Corey, you never know what you're getting either. Because
Right.
Corey, you've had a really screwed up life.
Yes.
Corey was.
And maybe you may not remember things. There were times.
Oh, please, Robin.
Corey, is it possible that you might have had sex with Michael
Get out
Jackson?
of here.
You know what I mean? Because there were times you were so
Come
wasted.
on, Howard.
God did get it on with you.
Well, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, maybe if we hypnotize her, you could find a few things that might have happened.
Yeah.
Plus, Corey,
I thought it was a video.
Yeah, they
but,
hypnotized
Corey, you're
Corey.
very ensconced in the whole show. You know what I mean?
No. Let me tell you something. Okay, first.
Hypnotized Corey, and in it, it turns out he was he was SA'd at Neverland Ranch long ago. Fuzzy memories, and whenever they come to light, it turns out it was Bubbles the whole time.
First of all,
That doesn't mean that he didn't molest children, but you're just going on record and saying, hey,
Bubbles
I slept in
is
the guy's
Michael
room and he didn't
Jackson's
molest me.
chimpanzee, by
okay,
the way.
I went on record saying that, but what I'm saying about Latoya is different.
Right,
okay?
you're saying that she has no concrete evidence either.
No, what I'm saying is that she's pissed me off, okay?
Right.
She's pissed me off because all of a sudden now she's a savior. Okay, if this was all true, why didn't she say something 5 years ago?
Because she didn't have the balls to say it.
Oh, she had the balls.
Wait a second, Corey. Wait a
3
second.
years ago,
You're telling
come
me
out and say that her father abused her and sexually molested
No
her.
shit.
And she could come clean with all this other stuff.
I mean, clearly
about her
Howard's
book and
just
this whole
fucking
bit.
prodding
All of a
Corey
sudden
here,
she's
but
gonna just remember this too.
I don't know. She's saying, hey, there's an investigation. I'm feeling guilty that I never stepped. There's lots of people who witness crimes and stuff
And don't say
and
anything.
never say a word for
But her whole
years.
trip before was that she was wiping the slate clean and she was bringing out everything that was, you know.
Corey, how long did it take you?
Before you came out on our show and spoke about...
Hey, when I was ready to be honest, I got honest about everything, and that was it. No, that's true. I mean,
Well,
once
maybe
I
that's the way
decided I
you
wanted
did
to be
That's the way
honest
Corey
about
did it.
Huh?
So, Corey, that was very good when the two of you were going at it. I really
I mean,
enjoyed
yeah.
that. And by the
And
way,
this all stands
Latoya
true as
did
well.
say stuff about your parents that is not true.
That's right.
Is your mother an alcoholic?
Well, my mother has had her problems.
Right. And your father is not an alcoholic?
No, my father smoked marijuana.
Right.
Well,
Yep.
then she had it absolutely
hell
right.
yeah.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. She said they had a problem with it.
No,
Yeah, she said I was
going.
She said I was running around telling Michael that he was an alcoholic and this and that. That's it's just BS.
Right.
She
you know.
said later, Corey, that, well, I know one parent had a drinking problem, another parent had a drug problem.
No, wrong.
See?
I mean,
Wrong.
It
you
is.
know,
They're trying to make
It's wrong.
He
excuses,
just
these
said his mother
fuckers.
had a drinking problem and his father smoked marijuana.
Yeah, but smoking marijuana isn't exactly a drug problem.
To Latoya, that may be
Hell
true.
yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah. Latoya, Miss Perfect and Innocent. She doesn't have sex with her husband, but she poses for Playboy. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Got
there's
him.
a
A
lot
lot
of
of stuff
confusion.
here doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean,
The only thing that makes sense is I think we had a very high tune-in rate for that argument.
Yeah, I bet,
well,
man.
let me tell you something, man. The only reason I had to come on and talk to her was I was so frustrated.
Right. No, but you did the right thing. You came forward, you talked, you said your piece, and Latoya said her thing.
But let me ask you something.
What?
What do you think she has to gain by doing this?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. You know, I just know that there's something weird with her and that husband of hers.
Yep.
There's
I
no
mean,
doubt that. She even says that.
Let me tell you something. I spent last weekend with the Jacksons.
Yeah.
Okay, I was at their house for the whole weekend with Kate and Joseph.
No wonder he's busy defending
Yes,
them. Look at the
absolutely.
energy he's getting out of this.
Yeah, well, I spent the weekend with Kate and Joseph. Kate's sitting there practically crying.
Well, any
Okay.
mother would.
Huh?
Any mother would.
Yeah, wouldn't
Well,
you be
of course. And she's sitting there looking me in the eyes, going, "Corey, Michael would call me up after being with children all day in the hospital, and he would say, God, they're in so much pain. I wish there was something I could do to help them. You know, with tears, crying on the phone to me.
Yeah.
And how can they say this stuff is true? And how can my own daughter be out there saying all these horrible things about her brother and her family? You know, and when I look into a mother's eyes and see that, how am I supposed to?
When did you go to the ranch? When did you go to the Latoya? When did you go to the Jackson home?
Last weekend.
So how could the mother be crying about Latoya saying that? She didn't hold the press conference till yesterday.
She was saying about the other stuff that Latoya had said, not even getting into all this.
Almost caught you, you tricky little. Hey, Corey, I gotta go anyway. You know what? Well, who cares?
He slipped through again.
I'm too busy. He always has an answer, that Corey.
No, because I'm being honest.
Hey, I'm gonna be out there signing books on Los Angeles on.
Yeah, I want to see you. You always say that when you come
So
out
why don't
here,
you come
want to
over?
get together.
Why don't you come over to the book signing?
Where's it at?
It's gonna be at Book Soup.
On Sunset?
Sunset. I'll get there at 11 o'clock, and I'll sign anybody's book who gets there by noon. How's that?
Well,
Bring the Jacksons.
I
in.
want to come early so I can
Bring the
so I
Jacksons.
can see you.
Oh.
Because otherwise it'll be a mob scene.
It will not. It's gonna be fine.
Oh, please.
No. It's at Christmas time. No one's around.
That's like Christmas.
No.
Yeah, a lot of people are out of the country.
Man, that would have been one hell of a book
Because
signing.
I can show up there if it's going to be a whole mob thing now.
I was talking to the guy who owns Book Soup, and I've got. So far, I've lined up 5 supermodel type bikini girls.
So that's very
in the
cool.
window.
This is like, I'm assuming right whenever Private Parts came out, his book. And then years later, 97, about 3-4 years later after this, which is the other video I just covered on YouTube. It's where they're right before the premiere of Private Parts, right before Corey Feldman met Marilyn Manson at that premiere. And then that kind of ties back into the Corey Feldman versus Rose McGowan saga. So you can kind of watch these all in order, but only if you have the Patreon, because you can check this one out. Okay, we're almost done here with this one. Let's get to it.
You want to be here.
So what time did you say
Corey,
you'd be there?
Yeah, I'm saying, if I tell you to be somewhere, just be there. And then I'm going to, I want a band to play, but I don't know which band.
Where are they going to play?
There's a place out front where they could actually play.
In front of the girl?
Yeah. So they could have something to dance to.
Let me ask you a question.
I would like to have Pearl Jam play, but
Oh, yeah,
Is there
right.
going to be security there?
either them or Guns N' Roses.
Of course there's going to be
I
security.
mean, will there be security so if I show up, they can, like, walk?
Yeah. Just wait online. They'll sign your book. Why do you have to come in front of the line?
Well,
Oh, you know you're a big shot?
no, just because I
What is he
thought maybe
stuttering,
I
John?
could get
I have
closer
a
to
woman
you
on the phone
faster,
upset
Howard.
with Corey.
You have a woman on the phone upset with Corey?
Yeah, upset with what Corey's saying.
Why is she upset?
Well, because she is, why she's
We got an
why
upset
Corey's not
caller.
sympathy for these people who were molested, or allegedly molested.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
I think that Corey is basically saying that his experience was one not of being molested, and he said that basically he felt Latoya didn't have any evidence.
Correct.
Well, the pain that I'm feeling is, I saw Latoya on TV. I saw the pain that she's going through in her heart. Here she is. Not only is she a victim of child abuse, but now her brother, who's her best friend, she's telling the world, not only was he my best friend, but I had to keep this horrible secret because I really believe what my brother did was wrong. And I'm not going to stand.
Yeah.
What she's doing is coming out saving the children of the world. And, Michael Jackson, I believe, is being, really hypocritical. Save the children. For what? Himself?
Yeah,
For
well,
his bank account?
Jesus.
I'll tell you something. This woman has a point, Corey. I believe that what Latoya did as well was very brave. I don't see any. It's very hard.
He doesn't even know why she would do it. He can't come up with a good reason for it.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, the only reason I can come up with is the fact that she's very sick and she's doing it for attention.
She's
Why?
sick
When
because
did
she
you
was
become a
abused,
doctor?
Corey. What are you hiding from Michael? How much of a check did you get?
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
When's the last
There's
time
something
you
we
had a
haven't
job?
I hadn't thought of that. This lady.
Let me tell you something, whatever your name is. I was molested as a child, okay? And
Corey's had everything.
When
And
did you? When
believe
did
me,
this
I would have
happen?
preferred a check, okay?
He was high and some guy.
Yeah, right.
No, just seriously. Corey was high and some guy did some stuff to him.
Yeah, a guy
no.
who befriended him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
God damn.
nauseating.
But although Corey hasn't gotten
shit.
maybe physically a check, but he does get to go to the Jacksons' home. He does get to go to the compound.
Right, so it's to his best interest to keep his mouth shut.
Now, wait a minute, Howard. Howard, what is this?
Latoya went and got her own life.
Now you're turning on me.
No, he's
I'll
just
turn on
telling
you
the
as-
truth,
I'll turn on
Corey.
you as long as
Open
I-
your eyes, man.
What was that, Howard?
I'm listening to the lady.
I'm
Oh,
telling
I
Corey to open his eyes.
Oh, my eyes are wide open.
I don't think so, Corey. I
Well, I
think
think
you're in
so.
as much
All right,
denial as
Corey.
the Jackson family.
Corey, I have a question for you. What do you think of this little 13-year-old boy?
I think that it's horrible what he's being put through.
Do you think he's lying?
I don't think he hasn't said anything.
Oh.
Have you heard from him?
Well, he has given a deposition, Corey.
Well, he gave a deposition, but we haven't heard from him. We haven't seen
You
him.
can hear about that too, about what all went down there in that video I'll tag below.
All right, listen. I had enough of this.
Yeah.
At this point, I've had enough.
Well, God bless you, Howard.
Oh,
Save
thank
the
you.
children.
Thank you.
Bye, Rob, and Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas.
What was that all about?
Just more tension.
Just somebody voicing
I can't
their
believe,
opinion.
Howard,
It's the roller coaster that's this show.
as long as we've been friends, that you would sit there and some chick calls up, and now you're,
No shit.
alienating me.
Wait a minute, Corey, you called up to defend Michael Jackson. We let you defend.
Yeah, now we're all attacking you.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Have you ever seen Michael Jackson's penis?
No.
Is he half white and half black?
Tell the truth.
Half white and half black.
You've seen him.
No, he's got black. Yeah, he's got brown spots.
He has brown spots?
Yeah.
Really?
Like a zebra?
No, like spots, like
Like a leper? Leopard?
Leopard.
Leopard? All right, listen, Corey, I gotta go.
Jesus.
I'll see you. You
Fuckers.
want to get together in California?
Yeah.
So come by. I'm telling you, there's going to be all kind of bikini girls in the window. It's Book Soup on Sunset, 11 o'clock on the.
And there'll be plenty of security.
There'll be plenty of security. Get right in.
Okay.
And play some music and the whole thing. You can get up and play a few tunes.
Okay.
You go up there and do that Michael Jackson dance
Nice.
you do.
Watch it.
He does. He does a dance like Michael Jackson.
No, I won't be dancing like that right now.
He dances backwards.
I'm in mourning right now.
So you can't do that dance?
I'm in mourning. Yeah, I can't. I can't do anything.
What are you mourning?
He hasn't had a lesbian in 3 days.
I see.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's Corey Feldman. The guy with a wild past.
Nice.
I got to take a break.
I don't know if there are any good witnesses in this case.
Yeah. I got to take a break and then tell everybody what's going on everywhere.
Hello.
Huh.
I'm Boy Gary, and I'm here to introduce...
Well, let's see if there's anything else to this.
George Takei.
No, okay, I guess that was about it. I'm not sure if they ever spoke off on Howard Stern again, although he did kind of, they all kind of roasted Latoya's husband on that video, the last one I uploaded on the channel. Something interesting here I do want to check out. As I stated, at HBO Leaving Neverland documentary, it's been proven to be total bullshit. And I think before, it was basically debunked. I do believe Corey Feldman came out and said something. Let's see what this video is.
It was on that set, 1984, that actor Corey Feldman says that he met Michael Jackson and the two became friends. So in the wake of the startling allegations made in the film Leaving Neverland, made by two men, Wade Robson and James Safechuck, Feldman initially
those guys are full of
criticized
shit.
the film, calling it one-sided, without evidence, saying his friendship with Michael Jackson was never inappropriate. But now the actor is clarifying some of his comments, saying, quote, "Michael was my friend, but that does not mean I condone any harmful behavior, physical or mental. This is new information to me. It takes me time to absorb and process." And we want to welcome now actor Corey Feldman. Thanks for being with us. Let's pick up with that last line. Absorbing, processing. Where are you with all this?
Well, as I mentioned in my statement, it is obviously a very emotional time for me, and this is a very emotional process for any survivor of abuse, anybody that's been through these things. To, first of all, I ask people to put themselves in my shoes. You're a kid who has endured sexual abuse, and during those times, I'm looking to somebody like Michael Jackson as a friend, as a big brother figure, and he was that person to me. However, as you're friends with this guy, all of a sudden you start to hear more and more accusations being thrown around by various people, and it comes to a point where, as an advocate for victims,
you see, and I guess you can't blame him for that. I mean, he literally just said you hear different things, and you hear enough people say it. It's not like he flat out accused them. I don't think it was the best move to go out on, go on live TV with this, but hey.
Advocate for changing the statutes of limitations to make sure that victims' voices are heard. It becomes impossible for me to stay virtuous and not at least consider what's being said and not listen to what the victims are saying. This is very important. We must give them their voice. We must allow them to speak. And therefore, we also must consider all sides of this, even as uncomfortable as that may be.
Got it. Well, let's hit this on a couple fronts. First off, describe your relationship with Michael Jackson. Again, number one, you say nothing ever inappropriate. Beyond that, what was it like?
Yeah, absolutely nothing inappropriate ever happened, and we were friends. I mean, as I said,
You can go ahead and check out this video.
Of the two of us hanging out, and when you listen to it,
if I remember, I'll link it down below. I just wanted to hear what Corey had to say before it came out, because it's pretty well known that Neverland, the Leaving Neverland documentary, total bullshit. But hey guys, like I said, I do plan on getting more into actual video content for you guys. I'm just kind of getting things started right now, and I'm just gonna, the first few videos may be a little light in content, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna build this Patreon up a bit, and anyone who directly donates here, I mean, you're really helping out the channel overall. You're really helping out Staunch TV. So, I mean, I very much appreciate it. So I do want to do basically anything you guys want to see. So let me know down below, and I will take all of y'all's recommendations into consideration and try to knock them all out, whatever I can do. Anyways, guys, this is just something on my Patreon. I'm happy to have you guys here, and I will be seeing you guys around. Go check out the main channel, why don't you? Peace.